was a lot of talking about 2 lamps.
I know, right? How did we
Talk so much about lamps.
We did. There's a lot to say about these lamps.
Welcome to Highway 30. I'm Amy.
And I'm Sarah, and we're here to help you get creative.
Today we're going to get creative with a little something we found. It wasn't a thrift shop. When we did our marketplace last year, there was a section of the marketplace where they had people bring in
Treasures.
And so it was a resale thing. And
Yeah.
what do you call this?
Thrifty. It was a thrift sort of area. Reuse.
Yeah. We had a chance to escape our booth and go and do a little shopping. We also sent Mom out on several missions to go pick things up.
Did Mom find these or did we?
I think I found them and then I sent her back out. We got some new lamps.
They're things of beauty.
They
Imagine, if you will,
how
these
lovely.
in your house in
Yellow.
1978.
Yeah.
The carpet's shag. The lighting is low.
The gold, the yellow, the texture.
They're actually not horrendous.
I like the wooden bases.
Not bad.
I like the shape. They're really heavy.
They're very heavy.
Substantial lamps. They were marked, I think, $20 each at the beginning, and then by the end, I paid $10 each for them. So that's a bargain. I started off with shades. I ended up going to several different stores to try to look for shades. I ended up finding the best deals at the Home Depot.
Oh, I like that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just learned that fact.
They have a very big variety of shades there, and I just happened to look up on some that were on clearance. When, I was looking at $25 shades at Target.
And it wasn't a shade emergency.
No.
So you can shop around.
I can shop for shades. Shop around for shades.
Shop for shades.
And I think I got these at Home Depot for $12 each. This is the shape of the shade that I chose.
Shape of the shade. She went shopping for the shape of a shade.
Yes. It's really, really hard for me to visualize what these are going to look like while these are still yellow. So we've got to make that change. The plan, though, is to take some, what is it called? Stuff over there. It's like spackle. Filler, wood filler, spackle.
So the grand plan is to just take some spackle, just like you would use in your wall, kind of patch something. It can have a really cool texture to it if you put it on right, and give these some texture.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try.
You're gonna try.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
Texture and
then
paint.
a color. Yeah.
And the color is always hard, but I don't know. Maybe like a darker granite to match. These are going in my room. There was a video a few weeks ago where I made artwork on top of I made the new art for above my bed, and in that video I gave you a sneak peek that I was going to redo these lamps.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go back on that promise.
It's not been done, but it's gonna be done.
Happen.
There will be new lamps.
Yeah, these are the lamps.
And so now they're gonna get a new life.
Transformation time.
Here it comes. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I know that I'm going to paint the gold away either with, I have a looking glass paint and then I have a chrome. They were both just in my stash, so I don't know which one is going to work better. I might try the looking glass first, and if I like that, just go with it. Before we get started on any of the fun things, we have to clean it. Taking things apart. It's always like the more prep that you do, the better the project's gonna look. And the easier it's actually gonna be. Like, take a few minutes now and it'll save you some time later. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to go to the trouble to remove the wooden base here. I will wrap up the base, tape it, and wrap up the cord. Everything I do is ×2.
I decided to add just a layer of paint on the entire lamp. These are very shiny and I think it'll help the spackle to stick. I tested the chrome just on my board. This is the chrome versus the mirror. You don't get the mirror look unless you're spraying it on glass, and then the mirror is on the reverse. It's more like a matte silver. Chrome is super shiny. So I think I'm definitely gonna stick with the mirror. No more gold.
We're back with the lamps. They have been spray painted. It's been a few minutes now since I've worked on them. What I would like to do is get rid of this little pattern here. Well, I do think it was pretty. I don't know if I've talked about this already. It's not gonna go with my bedroom and the look that I want. I'm going for more of a rustic textured look. I have some of this dry deck spackling. It's the kind that starts pink and then it dries. So I really like that because then I know when it's really dry or not. And that's important when you want to paint it. I've got this. I'm gonna try smearing it all over the lamp. Hopefully that'll work. Got a variety of brushes here if I want to try some texture. This is a tougher bristle brush. Then I just have one of these chip brushes, a foam brush. Maybe that'll help me spread the spackle over the lamp. And this little tiny sponge that I found in my box. So we'll see if that helps at all. Who knows? We're winging it and we're gonna see what happens because that's what we like to do around here. I do know, however, that I do not want to mess up the nails because I did such a good job on them last night. Anyway, I'm gonna put on some rubber gloves. It looks so good. Kind of want to eat it. Let's just go for it. So I decided to put a layer of this chalk paint on here because for some reason I thought, well, maybe that would help it stick better because these lamps were very shiny. My gosh, I'm liking it already. Now the idea behind the texture, totally because that's the look I'm going for, has nothing to do with the fact that it can be messy and you could say it's supposed to look like that. Kind of concentrating on the pattern first because I think that'll have to be thicker. What do we think about pink? No? Well, the good thing is I want the textured look all over the whole lamp, but because that pattern is not over the whole lamp, it doesn't have to be that thick. Just enough to make it look like rustic pottery, whatever you call it. But I have a feeling there's this fine line between making it look like real pottery and making it look like a DIY project. That just means you don't stop. You keep going. Even when you think you're done, just go a little bit further. Especially when you're painting. It's like 1 coat, never enough. 2 coats, no. 3 coats, we're getting there. Sometimes you need a 4th. It's like smearing pink icing all over it. I just made a mess with this hand. I'm just gonna try a few things and see. It's flying everywhere. This I can give it a little more texture. Like that. No. A sponge. That would give it some really deep texture if I wanted that, and I don't. So, bye-bye sponge. That's really smoothing it out a bit, kind of nicely actually. Okay, I think I need to work a couple minutes on just making it look a little bit more even. Alright, I think I'm happy with that. So we've got no more swirly 1990s look here. I just visually, I can't get past the pink at this point, so we'll see what happens when it dries and we get the paint on it. I think I'm really gonna like it. On to number 2. Let's do that one a little faster. All right, now we are going to let these dry at least a day, maybe even a couple days before we come in and add our color. We're all done with the spray paint. I think it's a little too dark for me and maybe even a little shiny, even though that spray paint was a matte finish. This Waverly Elephant is definitely a little lighter than the gray. I'll add a little at a time because I can always add more. One thing that's a little hard with the chalk paint is it's going to dry dramatically different. I might have to let this dry a little bit and do it in layers until I get to the point where I like it. Alright, I think I'm happy. I took one of them into my room just to check the color and it looks good in that white. Of course, my room is not as bright as this. They look a lot lighter here than they will when I get in there. I thought about spraying this with the clear matte varnish, but that's not really very matte either, and I just don't want any shine on these. They're not going to be touched a whole lot. I'll be very careful and I can get away without putting any kind of cover on these. So let's peel the tape off. I did a really good job with this. Put you through that.
I think we need more. Just more contrast or something. This isn't making me 100% happy. So I've tried a little bit of a lighter color on top. I mixed in a little bit of the plaster with the elephant. So I'm gonna go in with this and see if we can't make it look a little bit better.
Just really lightly brushing it on. Just looking a little too flat. And we went to the trouble of putting that plaster on, so we want it to show up. It's so bright in here now. Wow, I might be squinting with the At least I'm gonna have a ring of light in my eyes for the rest of the day.